Okay, I'm aiming to make a very short video today. I don't know if that's gonna happen though. So as promised, I'm back with scan results. I had two different types of scans. So I had my CT, but I actually had my yearly mammogram as well. So in terms of mammogram, everything is fine. The mammogram is actually only done on the right side. So if you've had a mastectomy, you don't have mammograms. So if you had a bilateral mastectomy, you wouldn't have mammograms at all. Excuse me, if you only had a single mastectomy, you just have mammograms on the other side. So I'm never really overly concerned about the mammograms. I used to be, because I used to be like, if there was cancer right here, surely there's a risk that it's gonna be right here, but it doesn't work that way. So now I understand. I'm a lot more calm about it. As for CT, I do the chest and abdo, and I do the neck and head, just looking at all the major organs. You just go for these scans. I go every 3 months to basically they're checking your major organs to make sure that they don't see any metastases. So my scans are stable, which means that they're in the other organs, there's no detectable levels of metastases, and what is there is unchanged. I think it's important that other people get to see me talking about this, because I am recently a member of a group where it's other patients that are on ribo and anti-hormonal therapies, and the difference between everybody's journey is, I mean, everybody is so different. And then at the same time, there are people who are so similar to me. One thing that I suppose this is the first time I've felt a level of disappointment, because I had seen that there were other people who were on ribociclib where the ribo was working to shrink and even get rid of their tumors. And when you see that, then it's easy to be like, oh, why is that not me? Having said that, I am almost a year, just short of a year into the ribociclib treatment. And the whole time, there's been no change. So while on the one hand, I said that there was this sort of level of disappointment, on the other hand, it feels really good to know that it's working. It may not be working in the same way that it does for other people, but the fact that there's no change gives you so much hope. Like now, I am definitely feeling like I'm going to see my 40th birthday. So yeah, I just thought I'd share my feelings about that. Overall, feeling very positive, and like I said the last time, that it's kind of, you just want to get your scans done and get your results, because you want to be able to just know that you're moving on with life in the same way. When you know that the scan is coming up and that you're going to be waiting on results to see how things are going, it kind of interferes with making plans. Not that I have any big massive plans that I want to make, but you know, this just doesn't interfere with my life at all. Like I'm still doing CPD for work right now to be able to better myself in the job. I don't have any feelings like, well, I'm not going to be around or whatever. Like I'm still trying to get the most out of myself and life. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's it. So the treatment plan now is that I go into the hospital every 3 months. So that's for my Zometa infusion, for my CTs, and for my checkups of like neutrophils and that kind of stuff. And that's good, because then it gives you a longer period of time to get on with things and not have to, how do you say it? Like not, like you feel like you're not a cancer patient in that time maybe. And you don't have the anxiety and that kind of stuff. So when I was in the hospital this time, I mentioned to my nurse about the kind of muscle cramps, particularly at night. I don't know, it's not really muscle cramps, but it's that restless leg syndrome where you're nearly just so so aware of the fact that you have legs. That's the only way that I can really describe it. Like when your duvet is on your legs, it feels so heavy. You're like, I don't know. So I move around a lot, and it kind of interrupts my sleep, and and then the other thing is the kind of, it's not bone pain, it's joint pain. So when I mentioned it to the nurse, she actually recommended that I get magnesium citrate and glucosamine. So I've started taking that, and I think the reason that I'm saying it to you is because I never took supplements for side effects before. The reason being that years ago, it was magnesium was actually recommended to me by Deborah from the clothesline. Actually, I still remember that, Deborah. So when I was in the hospital, I said it to one of the nurses, and then she checked my bloods and she said that my magnesium levels were fine, and not to take magnesium because I could be overdosing myself. So I suppose I've always just been afraid that I'd be doing something wrong. I mean, I eat quite a varied diet, so I feel that the things I am supposed to get from food, I do get from food. So I'm not really a supplement person. So I just said I'd mention it here. So, and it was specifically magnesium citrate, the citrate rather than magnesium. And the glucosamine is, if you have arthritis, you might take this. If you are menopausal, you might take this. It's kind of like to lubricate your joints, basically. So yes, I'm hoping that makes a big difference. I'm feeling like maybe it's too soon to tell. On the topic of the nurses checking your bloods, I keep everything that I get from the hospital. So I have all of my blood tests. I take them home with me. So if there is anything, I just feel like it's a really good idea to have a record of everything so that you can also compare. Like, it's easy to forget it's even difficult to remember what your neutrophils were the last time that you were in the hospital, So it's just handy to have it and be able to go back through, and then you yourself can see if a level of something has dropped since 6 months ago or something like that. Having said that, there's actually no real change in my magnesium since I started. So I don't know. And it is within normal range. So the normal range being, according to the reports, is 0.70 to 1 millimoles per liter. And I'm like I'm 0.86 at the moment, but I could be 0.85. It actually was 0.74 at one stage, and that was kind of in the middle. I don't recall being any worse at that time or anything. So I feel like it's always kind of the same. Another thing is that I've spent a lot of time lately on YouTube and social media in general, just trying to get answers to questions I have about my treatment. As a result, I've seen other people asking questions which I do know the answers to, and I've kind of thought, do you know what? I'd like to just share that information, because I know how frustrating it is to go looking for answers and not be able to find them, or not really fully understand why. So I'm thinking, rather than just sitting here and talking me and my updates, that I'm probably gonna do things like that, because that's what I used to do, that coping with side effects and that kind of thing, just sharing the information, because it can be really, really difficult to find. On that note, I want to address that. So this is not my job. I don't have anybody to answer to here. I don't have a management company. I don't do brand deals. I don't do anything where I have to worry about my reputation. And I have come across YouTubers who are claiming to be a cancer channel, sharing information about cancer, tagging their videos as cancer videos, but not actually disclosing the truth about the situation, with the likes of Scamanda and those kind of things that came to light over the last few years. It can be very easy to become skeptical about a person and think, just when things are not quite fitting into place, you just know something's not quite right. So I have engaged in these conversations online, and I will continue to, because I think there's something really wrong with preying on cancer patients and vulnerable people in general for your own gain. Anyway, that is it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.